Thank you for coming on and being here. I am just so excited to have you here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Annette. I um, am a mom of four. I have two businesses. I run a counseling private practice and an online grief support Facebook group for parents of grieving children. And so to say my life is busy is kind of an understatement. I have a lot going on.
Oh. Yeah. Mom of four, busy doctor, running two businesses. Yeah, she is a busy lady. So Annette and we found each other in the summer, and Annette was really struggling with quite a few things, and I'd love for you to share, when we first spoke in the summer, some of the things that were really that you were struggling with and were seeking, looking at different options of how you could get some of these things resolved.
Okay. So when I first found Dr. Rena, the biggest thing was I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel like I had energy and hoped that I would lose weight, but also had struggled with my weight since having kids and then having my thyroid removed over 10 years ago. And so I wasn't necessarily optimistic that it was going to work, but, it was kind of, okay, I've got to do something. Something has to change. I'm tired of feeling this way. And so some of the things that I didn't even realize were a problem because I had just kind of given up and decided, well, it's always going to be this way, or this is always going to be a problem, until they started to clear up as I was in the program. And then I started writing them down like, oh, my skin's no longer painful to the touch on my arms and my legs. Oh, I don't have to wear my support hose every day and my legs don't hurt at the end of the day. My lower back doesn't hurt anymore. My shoulders and tension in my neck isn't there. And my cravings for sugar is gone. And I was a hardcore Mountain Dew addict.
That's right. I remember that. You were like, how am I going to give up my Mountain Dew?
Yeah. Mountain Dew and Casey's breakfast pizza. Those were my favorites. And yeah, plug your ears, Rena, plug your ears. But it was a convenience factor because I had four kids. It was real easy. Casey's was on the way to my office. I could just grab that as a quick breakfast. And then I didn't have to eat lunch because it was a big enough breakfast. So then I could work longer. Like, again, now that I look at it, it was not good habits. However, it felt like what I needed, or all that I could do, and without putting in a whole bunch of extra work and time. And I had extreme sensitivity to cold. So if I was outside in the colder temperatures for too long, I would break out with a cold rash that would cover my whole head, would be itchy and red to the touch. I had constant heartburn and acid reflux. It didn't matter how many bottles of Tums I went through. It didn't matter if I was taking the over-the-counter. Like, nothing ever went away. Nothing changed. But again, I was at the point where I didn't want to feel like this anymore. And I had forgotten until just a few days ago, I got an email saying, hey, you had inquired about our program a year ago. Are you still interested? And I was like, what is this? It was a program I was willing to pay over $10,000 for a year program to, I just wanted to feel better. And so I had tried high intensity workouts. I had tried boot camps. I had tried doing spin classes 3 to 5 days a week. Went with my neighbor. We were really dedicated. She was losing weight. I lost nothing. I had done random assortments of diets. I had even resorted to phentermine 7 years ago, I took that for 3 months, and the lowest I got with that was 195. But as soon as I stopped taking it, it all came back. It didn't work in my mind. It didn't work. It wasn't enough. I needed to work harder, do more, until I met Rena.
Well, I am so grateful that we met each other, because when we met and when you shared kind of your physical symptoms with me and everything that you were going through, I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, you poor thing. And then when we did your blood work analysis, it just revealed a whole other layer of imbalances and deficiencies that were going on in your body that you really had no idea that was even happening, because you were just dealing with all the above ground symptoms, like, you know, the pain and the brain fog and you were just like, I just want to feel a little better, but you didn't really know what that meant. You just wanted to feel better. And you were just taking kind of Band-Aid fixes to try to alleviate some of that stuff. And I know the weight loss wasn't even a main priority for you,
Right.
but it was kind of there in the background. And so I guess if I wanted to ask you to share kind of what your starting weight was before the Metabolic Hormone Reset program, and then what it was at the end. And then we'll talk about some of the other side benefits that you.
So at the beginning of the summer, I lost 5 pounds on the COVID diet. But so once I lost those 5, I was able to maintain that. I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is all right. But then it slowly, it comes back because you go back to all the habits and things. So when I started the program with you, I was 223. So 223 pounds. And just this morning, I weighed myself and I am at 193. So, but it's interesting as each pound, and it was right away. It was within the first week or two of starting the program. But because I've had thyroid problems, I was cautiously optimistic, thinking, well, with my thyroid problems, I can gain or lose a couple pounds a day and it will fluctuate a lot. So I didn't really again, it wasn't my primary focus, but also I'd had so many problems with it in the past that I just wasn't willing to look at that number as here's the marker for feeling better. But then they just kept coming off. And then even when I finished my official 3 months of the program, they're still coming off. Like I mentioned in the Facebook group earlier this week, I lost 2 more pounds just by addressing the mental health stuff, the resentment piece and the loving awareness things. This is a total package. This isn't just the new fad, the newest, latest, greatest, the try this. I hope, and I know a lot of you don't know me before, but I really just want you to feel like my energy is just off the charts. And even when I started, even though I was optimistic, I didn't think I'd be at this level in this short of time.
Oh, I love that. Well, I have a surprise for you because you gave me permission to share some of your pictures and stuff. So I worked on this right before we got on, and I wanted to share this with you. So, okay. So this is kind of just your before. Mm-hmm. So busy mom, and just your symptoms were a lot of just fatigue and brain fog, and weight gain was a part of it. And then when we did your blood work analysis, it was like the insulin and then the inflammation was off the charts. And I was like, whoa, Annette, we have some work to do.
Right.
And you were game. You were like, all right, this is all new to me, but I want to feel better. Mm-hmm. And so in a very short 12 weeks, here we are. So 223 and now 193. So 30 pounds gone. And this is over, I think you had mentioned 10 years you tried different things and nothing had ever worked.
Yeah, 7 years ago was when I did the phentermine, and really with all of my pregnancies before that, like I just never lost after I gained in pregnancy. Like, so, but in the last 6 months is probably the heaviest I've ever been.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, which, sorry, but the weight that you were carrying around your midsection right there, that's the weight that's even more dangerous. And I love, like, in your after picture, like, it's all gone. Like, I don't even see it. That's amazing.
And really, until the last couple of weeks, I didn't see it either until I put together these pictures and pulled them for you when you'd asked me, because I don't scroll back and look at pictures of myself, and most of my pictures are of my kids.
Yeah.
But as I started looking, I was like, oh, you can,
Like, it's a start. When you see the before and after, it is such a huge difference. And also, I just wanted to point out that for some other people, it may not be as easy to see, but I see this just walking around. I'll see this in other people. But your before picture, even in your face, there was a lot of inflammation that you had. Mm-hmm. You were carrying a lot of excess weight, fluid, and inflammation. Mm-hmm. And now, like, your face is just so, I mean, you're always beautiful, but now it's like glowing. So I love that. And I wanted to point that out because I have had people come to me after they've done like Weight Watchers or Optavia and stuff like that, and they've lost weight initially, but that's it. They may have lost weight, but they still didn't feel good. Right. The inflammation didn't drop. The other changes didn't happen because the underlying issues were not being addressed.
Right. And I think we've talked about this before, like, I was a chicken nuggets and French fries basically like a child diet, if we're being real. Like, I don't like a lot of fruits and vegetables. I don't like a lot of
I remember you saying that.
Very restrictive. But because the weight started coming off so quickly, like, my buy-in came really fast. So I was like, oh, I can lose this half a pound, and okay, well, I'm willing to stick with that tomorrow. Oh, I lost. Okay, I can stick with that another day. But I just kind of gave myself permission, like, every single day to be like, okay, I'm in. Like, here's why I'm doing this.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. When it becomes self-motivating, that's the best motivation. Mm-hmm. When you see it quickly and you're like, oh, don't worry, it's coming, but it never does, then it's hard to stick with something.
Yeah. And that's how I felt with all of my past exercise things and other diets that we had done, is everybody else was dropping. So I was like, oh, it's coming. And everybody would be like, it'll come.
Yeah.
But then it never came.
Right. Yeah. Well, what I'm showing here, this is your body type questionnaire. So your before and after numbers. So for everyone who is in the VIP, they have access to the full body type questionnaire. And Annette filled out her before and after. And I just wanted to share, like, just the amazing and stark changes that she was able to generate in a short period of time. So each box kind of refers to the different body system. And so it's adrenal and ovarian and thyroid and then liver. And every single one of them dropped by at least half, many more than that. And this is just, again, more confirmation for her to keep track of where she was and where she is now. And so for many of you, this is really helpful too, because sometimes we forget, as we're going through something and then reaching the end. And so it's really nice to have the before and after. And that's why I ask all of my program members to keep track of that, keep track of this. You can see it for yourself. And so this is immense. And this is just so beautiful. And I just want to blow this up and show this to everybody because it's just amazing. And this is kind of the numbers that reflect what you just shared with us, just in terms of how you're feeling.
Well, and even in filling out that questionnaire, a lot of the questions, like, again, I had just kind of resigned myself that this is, well, you're over 40. Well, you've had 4 kids. Well, you don't have a thyroid anymore. This is just what you signed up for in life. Like, it's not going to get any better than this. And then as I was filling out the questions, like some of them, I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was a problem symptom, that just wasn't a life thing. So it was educational as well as eye-opening. And then for it to actually have shifted that much is, huge.
I love that, because even though you're here to feel better physically, all the stuff that has happening at your cellular level is so drastic and so profound, and you have now changed the trajectory of your aging process and how you're going to age, and the risk for the illnesses that you were at a higher risk for before, but you are no longer there. Like, you completely changed your trajectory from here to here. And that's so beautiful to see and witness. So,
and I think too, added in there, my mom, I know, is watching, like, right now at this point, the age that she is, she's the only one who's made it to that age. Like, everybody, like, longevity is not in our family. So I think that also added into, like, we're going to die young anyways, because genetics, there's nothing I can do about it. But I did something about it. Like, I changed things. So.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. Well, I also wanted, you haven't even seen this yet because you just sent me your numbers, but, and that has given me permission to share, everybody. So I only do this if I'm given permission to share. But so this is her blood work analysis. So for anyone who joins the Metabolic Hormone Reset, I am still including this as a bonus, like your before and your after blood work analysis, because this provides us the objective data of what's happening in your blood at the cellular level, like what is going on that you may not even realize what's happening. And so if you look at her before, the column, the June 3rd, and mind you, she had her blood work done in June, but she actually wasn't able to start the program until September. So her results are from September to December, where this blood work is actually from June. But even with that, so her metabolic picture was not great in the before. She was definitely in a pre-diabetic kind of metabolic syndrome type pathway. Her fasting glucose was very high. Her A1C was starting to creep up, so it was getting up there. And then her insulin, her fasting insulin, was like 4 times higher than it needed to be. So 3 to 4 times higher. And no one ever tests this, so she wasn't even aware that this was an issue. And then just in 12 weeks, right? She just had it done, and her insulin is now in the optimal range, 4.9. Everything shifted. Like, her metabolic picture is just completely changed. And then I just threw in her GGT, because I always like to assess gallbladder function for especially women. It was starting to creep up her before, and now it's come down nicely, which is great. And then I just really wanted to emphasize the last couple of markers, which were 2 key inflammatory markers that were sky high in her before, like a little worrisome, that kind of high. And then they've just dropped like a ton of bricks in 12 weeks. And so that's how amazing the body is. And it wants to heal, it wants to recover, it wants to regenerate. It just needs to know how. And so I am so grateful and so thankful that Annette chose the Metabolic Hormone Reset program as her tool to transform her health and her symptoms and just how she feels. And then we can see it too, objectively in her blood work, like just the shift that has happened so far. And so I'm so happy for you. And I'm so honored to be a part of your journey, because you did it.
Well, I love this blood work analysis. I've never seen anything like it. And I've had a lot of special specialists and things, but it's so like the things that you had pointed out, like this is a problem, like the little pink box down there. I didn't know that was a problem. I didn't know that was an issue. Like, again, because I didn't realize these things that were happening on the outside were reflecting on the inside. And so the fact that they are all changing and all have gone down again, and I don't feel like I have worked hard, but I have been very, very diligent about following the plan that you laid out, but it didn't ever feel like work or effort because I was seeing some payoffs. I was feeling better. I was sleeping better. I was, just not experiencing the same physical pain. I wasn't having heartburn. I wasn't having like the daily extra things like needing to take ibuprofen because of aches and pains. Like I haven't taken any in 3.5 months. Like I haven't taken any Tums. Like
Love it.
Things that were like definitely on board multiple times a week, if not every day. And so just those little things for me to pay attention to. I haven't had a Mountain Dew since the beginning of September. I haven't had any of the frozen coffees. I haven't had like the extra stuff because the payoff is I feel so much better. So now I just don't even want it.
That's the best part. That is the best part. And what you have done in terms of your metabolic health is that you have shifted from a very inflexible state. You were metabolically inflexible. And now, just 12 weeks later, you have now shifted into a metabolically flexible state. And that is why your body is now burning fuel more efficiently in your body. To lose weight, you'll continue even if you don't follow things as strictly, because you have shifted into this beneficial metabolically flexible state, which is where the body wants to be. But when it gets shunted over here, that's when a lot of the problems happen. And that's what all these other programs don't address. They just focus on dropping the weight, but they're not focused on shifting your metabolism and shifting things back to where it needs to be and dropping the inflammation and allowing the body to function how it's supposed to be. And as soon as you stop those programs, you typically gain it right back. And that's the main difference here, is that we're on a mission to transform your health so that you feel your best from the inside out. And then it shows up here in how you feel and in your blood work, and it's motivating for you, which is the best part. So thank you so much.
And like we talked about 2 weeks ago when I told you I wanted to restart it, to do it all over again. Yeah. Said, I had to wait for my 3 months. Well, my 3 months came, and so I was like, okay, so I want to restart. And you said, well, you have to wait till you plateau and you're not losing anymore. And I was like, I wish I would just hurry up and stop losing so that I could start it again, as if that was going to make a difference. But here I am. I mean, still lost a few more pounds.
You're still losing weight.
That's still losing this week. Yeah.
Yep. You're still losing weight because your body is now balanced. It's optimized. You're more flexible. And so, sure, if you want to do it again, but as long as you're losing weight, that means that your body is now in a state where it's like, I know what to do again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So any last comments or words that you would like to leave us with, just kind of wrapping up, all encompassing your experience with the Metabolic Hormone Program, and just what you would say for anyone who's thinking about it?
Definitely, if you are thinking about it or on the fence and you're not sure if you want to make the commitment, for sure, at least apply and talk with Rena and see. But I think most of you will definitely, during this 5-day challenge, you're going to be experiencing some wins. And so you're going to pick up very quickly. She knows her stuff. That this is going to make a difference. And this isn't just your typical throw this exercise, do this, and you'll lose and it'll be fine. Like, this is really an all-encompassing program that's going to make for a lifetime transformation, not just a temporary, I lost for this event. Like, this really is a whole new way of life. And again, I feel so much better that I don't want to go back. Like, the Mountain Dew and the Casey's Pizza are no longer appealing. And in my household, we talk about, because my kids are like, Mom, do you want to go to Casey's? And I'm like, no, that's a gateway drug. Like, at this moment, I haven't been doing it long enough to trust myself that I could walk in there and avoid those things. So I just don't. But I also don't have the desire to eat it or go there because I feel so good. I'm okay without it. It's not like other diets where you're just constantly craving and wanting because there's this thing that you were told you can't have or you shouldn't have. And so now you want it even more. Over Thanksgiving, I had a couple desserts. Even yesterday we made taco salad. I put 3 Doritos on my taco salad, like, because I didn't want my mind to say you can't have this. So I think, again, it's not so restrictive that you can't do anything else, or this, now you're tied into this terrible thing with all these rules that it's going to be torture. Like, I genuinely am raving about this program because I can't believe how, number one, I've been successful, but number two, I love it so much. I don't want to give it up. I want to keep doing it because of all of the benefits. So I highly recommend it. Again, if you are on the fence, call and talk with Rena just to see what it is that you want to know before saying yes, but absolutely say yes, because this is a game changer.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on and sharing your journey, your story, your transformation. I know it's going to resonate with so many other people, especially women who are experiencing many of the same pre-symptoms that you were and would love to feel a lot better. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for me or Annette before we wrap up for today? Does anybody have any questions? Your mom has a few comments coming in. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. And oh, you're getting some congrats, some hearts. So nice.
I'll take a look at them when we're done.
Amazing. Well, thank you everyone for coming on. All right, Annette, I will say thank you so much. And we will be in touch soon.
Sounds great.
All right. Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And so I hope Annette's story was inspirational, and I hope it allowed just for you to know that there is a way for you to feel better without a lot of the typical restrictions and short-lived results from a lot of other programs and things like that. And I'm going to talk more about the Metabolic Hormone Reset program starting tomorrow and on Friday, so that anybody who is interested and wants more information can apply and set up a time to talk about that with me. And I'll go ahead and drop the link for the application today. So if anybody wants to get started and set up a time to talk with me, that would be amazing. But the Metabolic Hormone Reset program is just truly came out of a passion and a desire to help as many people as I can by addressing the root cause and by offering something that is so much better than what is out there right now, based on my 15 years of experience of working with so many women, especially because we have the hormonal kind of impacts and influences that men don't. And so we have to address things differently. We have to address bottoms up. And that's why I harp on the foundation so much. I always want to help change the perspective of how we think about weight loss and health, because once we balance hormones, once we optimize our metabolic health, then the side benefits of that are weight loss and feeling good and hormonally balanced. And that's what we want. So I always strive for a lot of side benefits versus side effects, of course. And so if you guys have any questions about what we presented today, what I talked about, definitely apply for the program and let's chat and let's see if it's right for you.